What's up, y'all? The Chrome Corner is back for UFC 270. The heavyweights, and Ngannou versus Gane is the main event. But we always start from the bottom of the card, and we always start with the guest first. Charlie T, how's it going?
Whew, man, it's going, dude. It is going tomorrow. Cincinnati Bengals AFC divisional playoff.
Yeah.
Fucking bird. Got a great card on the horizon, dude. 2 title fights. I'm excited. Let's go, Brandon.
We've got Michael Morales versus Trevor Giles.
So these are 2 guys who we don't know a lot about.
Mm-hmm. It's Morales' debut.
Morales is undefeated,
But outside the UFC.
Outside the UFC, Morales is brand new. Trevor Giles is coming off that loss in his last fight, but if you look at his streak before that, he had 3 straight wins. He beat James Krause, it's a split decision. He's been submitted twice, which scares me. I don't know about Morales' ground game too much, but we know that Giles is susceptible to, a nice guillotine choke.
Yeah.
This one, dude, honestly, it's a situation where you don't know a lot about Morales as he's brand new to the organization. And Trevor Giles has a body of work that, I'm sorry, just isn't like super impressive. Morales, he's got quite a few knockouts on his record. I'm going to roll with him.
Okay.
It's surprising because I usually take the guy with more UFC experience just solely based on better competition. I'm going to take Morales. I think he wins by decision.
I have a pretty similar opinion on it. I kind of went back and forth, and like you said, Giles has more experience. He's fought some decent names. One thing, he got knocked out in his last outing, and before it even happened during the fight, I called it because he fights with his hands really low, and I think from what the announcers were saying that he does that quite a bit. And if that's the case, and this Morales guy is as good of a striker as his record would hint at, then I'm gonna go with Morales too. So I'm gonna pick Morales. I'm gonna say he beats him in a striking stand-up battle. It might go to the ground some, but I don't see that being the main path to victory for either one of them. Morales has like a 5-inch reach advantage, so that's going to help him a lot.
That's huge, dude. That is huge.
That's huge reach advantage. That's right. So I'm going to go with Morales. Giles may surprise us because he's got the experience, and you never know when it's a debut. A guy may be super nervous, or you just never know. So on the next fight, we've got Cody Stamen.
Sorry.
What's up?
This next fight trips me out. If you don't see what's going on with this next fight, you're fucking crazy, man. Go on.
So we've got Cody Stamen ranked as number 15. He's coming off of 2 losses, I believe. And then we've got Said Nurmagomedov, who's not ranked yet, but he's with this fight. I'm assuming he'd move into the rankings if he won. I'm gonna go with Said Nurmagomedov. What's up? You thinking Stamen?
I'm being sarcastic.
Oh. I didn't think it was super obvious, but I definitely felt like I immediately leaned towards Nurmagomedov. Stamen, he's had a rough road lately. He had a split decision with Song Yadong, I believe, and then where he lost, and then he had, or it might have been a draw. I can't remember. And then he's had 2 losses. I think he's only won like 2 of his last 6 outright. I'm leaning to Nurmagomedov on this. What are your thoughts? Obviously, you're thinking the same. But...
Okay, here's the thing. Cody Stamen, if this fight was 3.5 years ago, I'm taking Cody Stamen. He has not been the same since he got submitted by Aljo. They fought, I believe it was 2018, and he got worked over pretty bad. And he had that draw with Song Yadong. Dude, this is like a layup for Nurmagomedov. They're 7 setting him up to fight rank contender, win against rank contender, jump into the top 15. This is basically like, hey, we want to set you up for success, and we think Cody Stamen's a guy that you can step over pretty easily and get into the rankings. But the thing is, Nurmagomedov lost his last fight before his last one. He lost unanimous decision.
I remember watching that one.
And I was shocked with that because he had a knockout before that. I think his last submission was 2016, maybe 2017. I don't know, but like he has some fucking heavy hands. I think Nurmagomedov knocks him out.
Next fight on the card, we've got Michael Pereira, if you want to say it in American vernacular, and Andre Fiallo. And Fiallo's a debut, just like Morales is, the first fight on the card.
It's so weird. There's two debut fighters on the main card.
On a huge card. Neither guy's ranked in this. Pereira's a pretty heavy favorite, I guess. -275, the heaviest favorite on the card. We're back to you, Charlie. So who do you pick and why?
Taking Pereira easy by unanimous decision. Experience, toughness. He can take you 3 rounds, and I don't see him having any problem here. Case closed.
His cardio is pretty good. I mean, he always does those crazy acrobatics in the cage, and he's always there, later in the rounds, it seems. So I'm going to actually go with Pereira as well. We don't know a lot about Fiallo, and so we're really banking on what we've seen of Pereira. It's his debut. He is on a 4 KO run, which is good, but again, all outside of the UFC. So we're moving on to the co-main event, the first title fight of the card. We've got I guess you would call it a trilogy, but one of the 2 fights came as a draw. So Brandon Moreno, the champion, is taking on Davison Figueiredo, who's number 1, and Figueiredo coming off of a loss, but obviously it was to Brandon Moreno. So my pick is first on this, and I'm going to say that Moreno gets it done again.
Oh.
Yeah. I think that it goes pretty similar to the last fight. I think Moreno's constantly gotten better, it seems, in their last few fights. And Figueiredo, it didn't seem had gotten any better, at least from the first to second fight. I think he kind of took him for granted. I don't know if he'll show up better for the third. You never know. Some guys, once they get that championship belt, they always feel like they're good enough. So you never know. I'm thinking Moreno pulls it out, and he's not one of those guys who gets complacent with the belt.
Interesting. Very interesting pick.
Okay.
Unanimous decision, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just start by saying, I don't know if anybody else remembers the Figueiredo Benavidez.
Oh, I remember.
Title fight. I've never seen somebody so quick as Figueiredo was in that fight. That was one of my favorite performances. Knocked him out in the second round. I believe it was within like 2.5 minutes in the second round.
Lightning fast.
Then took apart Benavidez a second time. Submitted him the second time. God, dude, it's so hard to pick against him. Like in this fight, I just don't think he's gonna crawl off that to a whole fucking lose again.
I think he kind of gave up. I feel like he didn't expect to ever be behind at all because it was such a back and forth war, the first one. And once he got behind, he didn't know how to handle it, it seemed like.
I think he's still got one of those performances left in the tank.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I definitely think he's got the power to knock out Moreno for that division. But Moreno did take a lot of his best shots last time and was still there. Actually, the first time more so than last fight.
Moreno fight Taikara France, right?
And he won, yeah.
He won. That was an impressive performance. I remember that.
We've got the big boys, the heavyweights. One guy registered as hardest punching man alive or of all time, whichever it is, Francis Ngannou, the current champion, you would say, and then the interim champion, which is a weird thing to have when you still have a champion. But the interim champion,
That happens a lot.
yeah, I don't like the reasoning behind this one though, because it wasn't that long that Francis. I don't even think it was a year that he had the belt, but.
Yeah.
Francis Ngannou champion, Cyril Gane, newcomer but been blowing through the heavyweight division, is also the champion but as an interim. We're back to you, Charlie. So does Francis land that bazooka that he has, or does Cyril Gane pick him apart with his shifty, agile skills?
So here's the X factor in this fight. Who have they both fought?
Derek Lewis.
What did Derek Lewis do to Ngannou?
It was the most boring fight of all time, and they both barely swung, but Derek swung more and beat Ngannou based on points.
And then what did Cyril Gane do to Derek Lewis?
Cyril Gane picked him apart until he was able to TKO him.
Dude, volume. Cyril Gane is just one of the highest volume fighters I've seen, especially in that Derek Lewis fight. This guy continues just so much pressure on you. I think he's one of the best heavyweights I've ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely, I would agree.
The thing about Francis is, I didn't think Francis was going to beat Stipe. I think if Francis fought Stipe again, Stipe fights a completely different fight and beats Francis.
I think Francis beats him again.
Exactly the type of style Francis wanted to fight. He came out swinging and Francis caught him. Cyril Gane's not stupid. He's not going to fight the way Francis wants to fight. He's going to fight meticulous. He's going to fight crafty, and he's just going to pick him apart this entire fight, and he's going to win.
Okay.
And he's going to. I think Francis unloads his tank in the third or fourth round, and it just comes up empty and gassed, and Cyril Gane takes him out in the fourth round knockout.
Fourth round knockout. Okay. I am going to take Gane as well. I think that Francis is getting better. I hope none of the stir between him and the UFC has caused him to get too cocky again or anything like that, and him not keep getting better. But in that last Stipe fight, I think we can all agree that was the best Francis we've seen. He was more patient. He defended the takedowns perfectly, and then waited and landed his shot like he needed to. And so he'll have his best chance to beat Gane if he can do that, and not use all of his gas early. But I just don't see Gane letting him land one of those shots because he's so agile, more than any other heavyweight I've seen before.
Yeah.
And he's a great striker himself. I think his kicks are way better than Francis's.
Just the pace, dude. The pace, too. His pace is unreal.
Yeah, for heavyweight, it's ridiculous.
It's honestly, like I said, it's like watching Colby Covington fight at heavyweight.
Yeah, he does fight a lot of volume compared to those guys.
Strike here, strike there. Like his total strikes compared to Derek Lewis in that fight was like 100 something or something to 10. Mm-hmm. It was unbelievable. I've never seen just like a top level heavyweight just get picked apart, get fucking annihilated. Like, you don't understand what a masterful performance that was by Cyril Gane.
Yeah.
I think this dude's a superstar, and he's just going to continue.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for anyone at the heavyweight level to match his agility at all. I think Francis is faster than Derek Lewis, and I think he's got better cardio than Derek Lewis, but I don't see him getting it done either. I just don't. But it's never going to surprise me, Francis touching anybody with that bazooka and them going out. So if he does land one, it could happen.